Are you serious? Are you serious? Dr. Joe Glickman sent this to me out of Montana, but this is an important information coming out of Debka file. Iran, Russia advises Assad. That's right. Iran and Russia are advising Syrian President Bashar Assad to transfer their chemical stockpile to Tehran, Iran, to avert U.S. attack. And it's kind of amazing me because I don't want war. Matter of fact, I even think the Muslim Brotherhood are the ones that did this chemical attack. I truly are. After watching the journalist who had been held for 81 days by the Muslim Brotherhood, held him for 81 days. And then when he got set free, in his interview, he said, look, Assad's regime did not do this. This was done by the Muslim Brotherhood. They're trying to draw America into the battle. And they may have done it. They just about have. They've got John F. Kerry convinced, I'll say that. And Obama was ready to hit him. But when somebody's got some new information, Britain backed off, France has backed off, the Congress are waffling, and the president's waning. And so this is buying time. And Obama's basically buying time by putting this in the Congress's court, waiting for them to get together. Here's what Iran and Russia are saying to Assad. You got an opportunity here to get those weapons out of there, just like Saddam Hussein did when he knew Bush was coming in with the troops in 2003 into Iraq. So the Iranian parliamentary delegation is visiting Damascus. They have advised Assad on Sunday, September the 1st, 2013, to move his chemical stockpile out of Syria and deposit it in Iran under Iranian and Russian military supervision to save himself from an American military strike, according to Debka's exclusive military information that they've received from an Iranian source. Now, chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee there in Iran, who headed the delegation, explained that President Hassan Rouhani, the new president of Iran, and Vladimir Putin had discussed the stockpile's removal and the basis of an Iranian-Russian plan for presenting to the United States President Barack Obama at the G20 summit in St. Petersburg. So, and we know Obama's leaving later today to go to Russia for the G20 summit. And so Putin wants to put this on the table. After the Americans accept the plan and the crisis blows over, the stockpile could be quietly returned to Syria, according to Iranian lawmakers. Now, another option was for Iran and Russian teams to destroy the stockpile in return for U.S. Arab League guarantees that Syria rebels would not use this process for strategic war gains. The chemical agents would be destroyed in stages in accordance with rebel compliance with such guarantees. So this is the trading. The horse trading has begun. And here's the thing. I am very nervous about ever entering into any kind of agreement that involves Iran, let alone Russia, but certainly Iran. I would enter into a deal with Russia for the betterment of good for all people. But Iran, I would never, ever trust them. They have openly declared jihad on Israel, on Jerusalem. They are working on nukes. And Vladimir Putin is just way too cuddled and coddled around with these people. Look who he's hanging out with. Yet at the same time, Obama's supporting the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay, so Putin supports Iran and the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and now Hassan Rouhani. He also supports Assad of Syria. He's also, he's also working with Hezbollah. I mean, there's a lot of, a lot of criminal bunch he hangs with. But wait a minute. President Obama, he coddles the Muslim Brotherhood. People like Mohammed Mursi and the delegation that come from Egypt. He coddles all of these different Muslim Brotherhood groups. And so, do you see the situation we're in? And if you're Israel, who do you trust? Really, honestly, who do you trust? And you say, well, Paul, these things are being blown out of proportion. It's not as bad as you think. Somebody's got to work on it. Can I tell you something else? Let me show you a picture. A picture that I'm sure John F. Kerry wishes it wasn't out there. But this is a picture of our now U.S. Secretary of State, John F. Kerry, and his wife having dinner with Syrian dictator Bashar Assad and his wife back in 2009. You have to understand, now Kerry's calling for Assad's head. Now he wants to kill him. Now he wants to bomb him. Kerry wants to take him out of power. Yet, just 4 years ago, they had an evening, a wonderful evening of fine dining. Do you see what goes on sometimes, folks? Now, at that time, I understand the Assad civil war hadn't started. It would start 2 years later. At this time, John Kerry was a senator from Massachusetts and a failed presidential candidate from 2004. But the ambitions were always there. So who do you want to trust? Assad's close friends with Putin, but Kerry's having dinner. Now, these things, all world leaders, to be fair to John Kerry, all world leaders have to meet other world leaders at any given time. So you can't sit and criticize people for having dinner with folks who end up being your enemies later. I mean, I'm not trying to do that to John Kerry because I realize that has to go on. But this man here, is he really the villain? I'm saying he's not as pure as a wind-driven snow, but really, who used the chemical weapons? Was it him? Or was it the Muslim Brotherhood? Or have both sides guilty of using them? Do we really even know the truth? I just know one thing. If I'm Barack Obama and I'm in Russia next week, and Russia says we're going to move all the chemical weapons out of Syria, we're going to take them to Iran, I'd say, are you crazy? Then why would I want Iran to have chemical weapons when they're trying to kill Israelis? Why would I want you to have? What? We'd rather just, are you serious? That's going from bad to worse. So, folks, this is the situation we're in. I want you to be praying one for another. As it gets real murky, the water's getting really, really murky. It's like all these people are all in bed together. It's just like it's getting really murky. Do you see why you can't trust politicians, political parties, world leaders, kings? You see why now you've got to be able to trust the Lord Jesus Christ. And only can you trust the Lord. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. If you're not saved, you need to be worried. Imagine Iran. Radical jihadist Iran. Not only building nuclear weapons with the help of Vladimir Putin and Russia, but throw some chemical weapons in there with it.